5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Nve.
All right. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday, and welcome to Live with Nve. Rock and roll, good talk, conversation, fun, fame, fortune, all kinds of great things. So gosh, peeps, what's going on with the world? We're not going to get into it too much because, as usual, I'm trying to find something good in the news every time we do this show. I look through the news and, I go through both. I try to do it really quick. I look at the Drudge Report, and then I go to the Huffington Post, and I see what people are hyperventilating about for the day. The daily outrage, as I like to call it. Let's see. We have gold crossed $3,000 for the first time. If you have any gold, that's righteous and good. Consumer sentiment has deteriorated sharply. However, I will tell you, folks, this is the first time inflation's gone down even a couple of quarters of a percent, but it has gone down notably. And believe me, this is kicking in. Gas prices have dropped. So whether you hate the guy or not, I don't know about you, but I'll take cheap gas. I want to drive my car. I can't afford a Tesla. They say look for early signs of a recession. Remember, the press can talk the country into a recession. So go out, work hard, and don't pay attention to them. They're saying they're raising these fear things, and you can't bend to fear, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. When they start talking about fear and saving the children, they're both lying. They talk out each side of their mouth. Greenland Prime Minister makes a shock move after hints of USA sending soldiers. Wow, that is something pretty crazy. Let's see what we have here. A congresswoman with dementia stopped coming to work. The D.C. press corps never knew. That's pretty funky, folks. You know, we pay, I don't know, as they say, we get the government we deserve. We vote these people in. And whether you like the left or the right, the ball goes back and forth. It has for 200 years, or a little more. As far as good stuff, Diddy's got a brand new look. That's all right. I guess he's styling going into court. He probably shaved his head. Or maybe he joined Farrakhan's bunch and he's sporting a bow tie. He's up there looking, he's got it going on, man. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna tell everybody about everybody that's been in my house. Tell you why I need all that lube. I'm sorry. Of all the weird shit that goes on, I still get a chuckle out of how much lube this guy bought. He could have had like a 50-gallon drum with a pump on it. It would have been far better than buying all that lube, even at wholesale. You could just have a big 50-gallon drum. Some guy cruises up every weekend, fills it up for you, and you're set for the weekend. I mean, he had like real estate dedicated to shit piles of lubricant, man. Some of these, I don't know, man. I used to think that I have seen it all. I've rock and rolled, I've partied, I have done things that I can't ever mention. And in fact, my friend who's going to be on in a moment wrote a book and he wrote me in. And then we got in a squabble about something. And so he killed me brutally, although he brought me back from the grave. So my latest thing that he told me he was writing me in is just an incredibly an evil person. So I like being the evil guy at whatever the chance is because it's just great fun. And his books are fun. They're super hardcore. And if you don't like the language or something, all I can tell you is don't come in. Don't buy this if you don't have. It's like, listen, it's like watching a Quentin Tarantino movie the way this guy writes. So it's great fun, and I like that style of writing. At the time when he killed me, I was kind of like, damn, I got killed off. But it was interesting. I came back, and I'm not going to give away anything else, but it was kind of in a way my character. But here's something funny. Alleged, this is good news. Alleged customers at brothels serving politicians and military officials finally unmasked. I put that in the bad category of shit that the politicians that they put out, because frankly, look, if these guys did something, they don't need to be paraded around on television, in my opinion. These guys have families and shit. If they're out stepping around, that's between them and their wife and kids. You know, I hate when the press just goes after people for their morals, because nobody, who the hell is you to talk? I say this to all these people. I come from the school of mind your own fucking business. And that's just what we do here. You know, I don't have time to deal with all this shit that makes people evil. Hey, Gina, what's happening? I've got all kinds of things in here. Gina, you've got, where are you going? Who are you going to see tonight? Is it the immediate family or is it Steve's show? Drop me a note. God, there's days I just wish I was sitting in Los Angeles, and today is one of them. We've got some people looking at us with the eyes, the evil, perverted doctor. So that we know that, let's see. Beef tallow fries are healthier. That's why you don't want to eat those nappy fries. You should make it yourself at home. And let's see. Tide Furious, Florida welcomes bring. Oh, this guy from Romania, Andrew Tate. He's kind of a dirtball, hairball kind of a guy. He's like the guy who ran Girls Gone Wild, who went to jail for all that shit. But when he was starting out, he was running around in Tampa. And I hate to say it, you know, even Steve's tonight. And tomorrow night, who's at the baked potato? Steve is tomorrow night. Tonight is the thumb. Wow, I can't wait to see your footage as always. You're awesome. Gina's my friend. Gosh, we've been friends for like 4 or 5 years as the show has progressed. And I always appreciate my long-term guest stopping by. She's a great woman. And when I went out to see the immediate family, she helped me out immensely. And she's really cool. She sees more concerts than I have. At the Ronnie Foster show, excellent. I've really, that's the thing. You know, they have a baked potato in Florida. It's such a great gig. It's really a nice, they know how to treat the bands and stuff. So, listen, the way this show runs is those of you who've been watching it for a while, you know that at times, because it is freeform radio, this is like NPR, only we admit we're stoned when we're having problems, or we make fun of the non-existent tech staff. But remember, this is the thing. NPR gets millions of dollars from other people. And as you know, this is NPR here. It's Neve Public Radio. It's not National Public Radio. In fact, people who'd be listening right now would want to hear dun 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 dun. Tonight on today's show on Live with Neve, we're gonna have all kinds of weird fucking shit, and we're gonna tell you who's killed, dead, and gory. And that's what would happen. Because if it bleeds, it leads, people, and that's just the bottom line. So I'm not going to do any more of this. I'm going to bring up Dave because that's really why we're here, is to listen to musicians. So I'm going to put a zipper on my mouth. I'm going to bring up Dave Look, and we're going to have some fun, and I hope you'll join us. Who the hell calls me during the show? All my mutants out there. If you're watching and you're a mutant, dial in. I'll bring you on the show today. I'm just in that kind of a mood. So yes, people, if you're in Los Angeles, where is Steve tomorrow, Gina? It's so cool of you, you know, letting us know for all of my friends in Los Angeles. The doctor, that's right. I remember now. I'm reading the notes from Dave. Okay, well, listen, without any ado, I'm sitting here yapping. We would normally kind of take a break right now, but today it's just going to be freeform radio. I don't have anybody who's paying for an ad yet, so if you're out there and you want an ad, you got to pay up. Pay up, man. Quality costs, people. Hey, man.
Brother,
Speaking of quality.
my man, how's it going?
It's going excellent. It's a beautiful day here. It's a little nippy, but it's great. It's honestly, you know why I feel good? My iTab, my iTablet. Oh, McCabe's. Ah, shit, yeah. McCabe's Guitar Shop. It is going to be a killer show tomorrow night. Uh, Steve from the immediate family, Steve Purcell, is going to kick some serious ass, and he's got Leland, and he's got. It's just going to be really good. And if you're a musician out there, this is where you want to be tomorrow night. They have all kinds of cool shows at that guitar place, and if you get to go, it's a real treat when you're out there. McCabe's Guitar Shop. You know, truthfully, you should always go there and sniff around if you have a credit card or if you just have a lot of money, because there are some deals and some amazing guitars. Um, it's really hard for me to walk in that place and not spend serious money. I don't have it though, so I've got a bunch of guitars. If anybody's looking for a guitar, give me a call. I have several for sale, and they got to go. I'm cleaning it out, man. Spring cleaning. I'm gonna have my studio is gonna be look like this nice modernist room, no wires and shit all over. As it is right now, if I turned on the monkey cam, you guys would just be freaking. What do you got there? Red Bull?
It was brought to you by Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Really?
Getting all of us awake and intense and sweaty. How much a can is that stuff nowadays?
Bucks. For the
How much?
$3 for the small can. Georgia.
Okay. I'm gonna turn your mic up, man. You're a little quiet. Let's see what we can do here. Crank it up. There we go. Up. Is this on automatic? You know, one of the things I don't like about StreamYard is it does shit by default, which doesn't make sense for the show. Say hello, Dave. I want to just do a little sound check.
Hey, hello, man. I've got an amazing story to tell you about the CEO of Girls Gone Wild.
Oh, let's go. I knew that guy when he was in Tampa. I used to see him sliming around. I thought at the time, this guy's got a good racket. You know, there's no shortage of hot young ladies down there in Ybor City who wouldn't want to drop their shirt just for, a little fun or more.
Got a good one for you, Neil. Since you brought that up in the preamble before the show.
Yes.
All right, so it's I don't remember exactly what year. I don't know, 2000 something like. I can't remember what year it was, but I'm up in Indiana, and I'm living up there on the run from the police or whatever, and I'm living with this guy named Chad. And Chad was like a pretty boy kind of or whatever, and we were working at the same company.
Sounds like my neighbor.
He's a real pretty boy, little guy, kind of, cool.
Hi, Rick.
Long story short, man, this guy used to be in the inner circle and was the personal assistant to that CEO that went to jail, right? And this
which one?
top guy, the one with the brown hair.
Oh, the one recently?
Oh, the one that went to jail back in the day.
Okay. Madoff or?
I don't know the CEO's name, but he was the top man. So Chad was his right hand. So they're in Florida, like you, and they got all this
Mercedes. Come a little closer to your phone, mate. It's breaking up.
An SUV he owns, and Chad does a line of cocaine, and instead of just jumping in the car to go, he had to take a shit. So, as cocaine does that to you. So he's in the bathroom, and this guy doesn't know he's in the bathroom. So he overhears a conversation. This guy's calling the hitman, basically. This guy had put all the cars in Chad's name, putting everything in Chad's name because he knew the FBI coming down the pipe on him, right? And
wow.
So,
the FBI, did you say? You broke up.
The FBI get him. So as soon as the hotel room, man, the FBI pounced on this arrest, and they told Chad how lucky he was. He was about to be murdered before they ever left the state of Florida, and this guy was going to assume identity.
Wow. Oh, so he's in the witness protection angle, huh?
Well, kind of. I mean, not really. They set him loose, but he's like, do with the cars. He said the FBI told him, they smiled and said, man, you just escaped with your life. The cars are in your name. They're yours.
Holy shit. So it's not like he could even take one of the cars he's paying for to haul out.
Yeah, I mean, no, he was locked up, and Chad's like,
wow.
cars and all his stuff, and they're like, it's yours. So Chad was on crack cocaine, man, at the time. He was selling this dude's stuff, man, all this fancy autographed sports memorabilia, collector shit from movies. He ended up selling the vehicles after he sold all the clothes. It was crazy.
That's when you preen into the ground, and I've been there and done that, and it is an ugly situation, man. And if you ever have to go through that, I feel for you, really. If you're out there and you ever have great failure like that,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it'll kick the hell out. So where is Chadwick now? He's out on the lam?
This was years ago, man, when
Shit.
don't know where Chad is these days, but he was living free. Didn't seem too worried. Done sold the
Wow.
man.
I bet he sold the mansion down south and he's moved somewhere a little more like North Idaho.
I suspect that guy's still in prison, man.
Well, some people have to be in prison, and I hate to say it, but the judges who let them out is stupid. Like I have a guy, a quick story. This guy that I did a record for in the early 90s, around 92, I was going to college still, and I needed money to pay my studio. What cost me money in those days was my Yellow Pages ads. Cost me a few $100 per quarter, like, $1,200 a year or something. And I needed cash. I also had a guy that I borrowed 10 grand from to open it. So it got tough, and I took anybody. So these guys come out, and he calls himself Oscar J. That's all I know him as. And he came out, and we did business. He kept, he paid. They came in. We did this whole rap album. I produced it. It's supposed to get fucking credit and writer's credit and all kinds of shit. Well, remember, people, if you don't have it in writing, you don't have shit. So I sweated over this record with him really hard, and I earned my money. I hate it when people do that. If they didn't like my shit, that's one thing. I would never make somebody pay me for shit. However, if I bust my ass on something and do a great job, then you got a problem. But at any rate, I come to find out I was going through a divorce. I'm sitting at home in my office in Florida where I am. The phone rings, and when I pick it up, I hear a young woman's voice saying to me, yes, hi, this is Mandy from the law firm of that. And before she said anything, it just went slam. I slammed the phone down. It was one that she could hear the slam too. And so she called back, and I left. She called right back, and it kind of pissed me off. So I just wanted to get on there and tell her to call my lawyer. I'd calmed down a little bit. So I pick up and I go, look, I'm just going to give you the number of my attorney. I cut her off. She couldn't say anything. I gave her the number, and I said, I don't really want to talk to you. You're here for my wife, and I'm not talking to any of you. She goes, no, I'm here to talk about Mr. Oscar Hodge. He's a friend of yours. I was like the only white guy this dude knew who like had a house. So it's like what I said to Oscar, because he called me from prison. I had to pay for the call, And he told me I didn't do it, but he did do it. He went in. His girlfriend had a baby daddy who was in prison. This is like really down home redneck shit going on in Florida between two homeboys. Oscar is dating Mimi, and she's pregnant with his child. Mimi was the singer on the rap group. She was a talented young chick. She could sing her ass off, singing all this gospel shit because that's what she grew up in, and she was really a good singer. Well, she gets pregnant by this loser, and then the baby daddy from prison gets out, and what does he do? He starts hanging out with the baby mama, who she had a kid with this guy. So they're always going to see each other, it's the way it works out. And it was an ugly scene. So at any rate, he goes over there one day with a 357 Magnum, kills his ex, kills himself or tries to, puts the gun in his mouth instead of like, here's how you do it, people, if you really want to go. Don't fuck around. Don't take it and do what he did. He put it out the side of his mouth like a chick in a porn movie, blows his cheek out. Such an asshole. At any rate, they finally put him in prison. And last time I checked, I had to get some phone numbers. I had one of those. I could find anything about anybody in the country. And so I looked him up. And sure as hell, he's sitting in prison down in Florida. It's a long way from where he lives. It's like he lives in Lakeland, and apparently the judge didn't like him, or the detectives, Grady Judd. He's the guy who's on the news all the time, talking about, yeah, our deputy shot him 35 times. Well, how come you stopped? He goes, we're out of ammo. And he's like, he's a really funny sheriff. And they got him. And so thank God the guy's still in prison. The bad is he owed me money. And then when the record came out, somehow the guys in the band gave it to me, his sample dude. And I look at that, no credit, not even for my studio, not shit. Produced by OJ Hodge. So his nickname was OJ, traditional name for black children in America, I think. So that's my story of the hood and me trying to deal with him.
So filthy. I mean, really, steal your thunder.
It's crazy what went on that time. I mean, when the lawyer told me that, they wanted me to come to testify as a character witness for the guy. I just said to her, I go, do you know what Oscar does for his gainful employment? Not a chance, man. I don't want to be tied in any way to this lunatic.
Nope.
And that was just scary. I never, I'll say this, I never would have thought he'd do something like that, because he was just such a jolly, he just smoked a ton of pot, and that was about it. He didn't get drunk and sloppy, so I know he wasn't drunk. Maybe he was when he killed her. I don't give a shit anyway. I've been drunk a million times, had a firearm, and never shot anybody, never pulled it in anger. People are stupid.
I live in the second largest state of Georgia. I live in a project area. So there's a saying down.
Yes.
Guys that smile all the time are the first ones to kill you.
Yep. They're like the politician class, and I'm not knocking either side. You guys have assholes in both parties, believe me.
Something about it, dude. Guys on the street that smile all the time, they're the first ones to kill you.
You know what? You look at some of those assholes. In my mind, I'm like, what? This fucking guy going down the street whistling? He's fucking.
Just weird.
I almost hate him because right now with all the shit going on in the world, I have a hard time. Just like I don't walk around and whistle these days. Anyway, I'm sorry about the politics, folks. I just worry about shit like I live right across the harbor from. If they drop a bomb on New York, I have 5 seconds before the blast wave hits. Destroys everything in its path. So all I could say is if they tell us there's high tensions that day, I might have to go get a bottle. I haven't had a drink in 6 years, and if it's the end of the world, I think I might have one. That's the only thing I could say.
Right on off the wagon, baby.
Well, you know what? I feel great. I don't feel any kind of compulsion to drink at all. But life's kind of funny, the way things turn out. So let's talk some rock and roll. Let's get to the meaning of the show here. How did you do it? Who did you do it with? What was the impetus for the song? And what's the lyrics? Where'd they come from?
Man, we've got the lead-off single today called I Want It, title track.
Yes.
And the impetus for the song, my muse was my fiance, Liive. She just, made me chase her for so long. It put such a sense of urgency into the song. And I was able to capture that urgency because of the chase, So anybody really hungry for a woman or whatever, you're gonna
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of throwback rock. It's got a nice throwback sound purposefully. I listened to a ton of Scorpion during the recording of this EP because I was kind of trying to channel that type of rock.
Right.
And we pulled it off. I produced the track myself here in Augusta, but a nice stroke of Christmas luck had me reach out to Max Norman. That's Ozzy's producer and Megadeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a ton of other platinum records, Loudness, Lynch Mob.
Oh yeah, he's like my friend in Tampa called the Goat Lord. Scott was his name. They called him Schlot. He used to be just the mixer in this crappy band. Not crappy. We were a good band, but he was not even into rock and roll, and he became our sound man. And then he ended up doing Sepultura, Iced Earth. He became the metal. They used to call him the Goat Lord because all the metal bands from South America come up here, and he had a touch, man. Cannibal Corpse, crazy drumming. I have long hair, but I can't spin my neck that way. I'll break my neck. I've already got neck problems. The guitar player, he does that. It's
Yeah.
amazing to watch. He's playing like incredible. And it's a good show. Even if you don't like metal, people, you should go and see a show live. I'd still jump in the fucking mosh pit. That's a great fucking thing to do. If you haven't done a mosh pit, people, do it. It's fun. People, nobody gets hurt. You bump into each other kind of hard. It ain't that bad.
Some people do get hurt, but he's downplaying it. Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally somebody will piss you off and you give them a good elbow in the fucking throat. It happens. The elbow is a very powerful weapon. Ask my friend, what's his face? Bob, here he is. Rick Davis is the man. He is a master of karate and other things. He's a really smart guy, and he's a big fan of the show and a friend of mine and a good friend. Really good guy.
Anyway,
So how did you put the record together?
karate ranks the elbow as the number one most destructive weapon on the human body. The knee is second, and the forehead is third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put this. By the way, Rick, nice to meet you. I'm also a martial artist. We put the record together and sent it down to Max Norman, and he done mix and mastered this first track, and it's really killer.
Mhm.
A little bit reminiscent of Creed, in my opinion, but I don't think too much of Creed. I hope. But
I liked it better than some priests, but I know where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong, I like them. I think they're a great band. They're spotty on the records. Some albums are just unbelievable, some are not as good, but that happens with everybody.
I like
Not with you.
But I'm older than Scott Stapp, so if anybody wants to say I sound like him, because I'm older than him. But anyway, we got
you look pretty good for 104, man. I mean, seriously.
But yeah, this is a good track. I'm excited. I think it's gonna have legs. I plan on shopping it to all the labels. Got a lady in Los Angeles that is going to shop it, so we're going to cross our fingers on this one.
Well, it's such a great track that I got to talk to you after we get off, man. I got to tell you a few things I was thinking of. And anyhow, it's shop talk, guys. For all of you people out there wonder what we talk about. We talk about rock and roll. We talk about hot looking women. We talk about having a fast car. We just talk about the usual bullshit. Some little politics thrown in. But, mostly I don't know about you, but I'm just a rock and roll guy. I like to listen to jazz and rock and really all kinds of music. It doesn't matter to me, as long as it's good. I've played and recorded and played drums on every kind of song you can imagine. That you'd come in as a songwriter and I'd build a band around them in Tampa. I had all my friends who were monster players. And I'd get all the guys who go to LA. It's funny, I never got Goombie to play, and he's the conga player. You've probably seen the show with him. He's unbelievable. He plays with Al Di Meola, and I'll leave it at that. He is just unbelievable.
Guitar player.
Huh?
Di Meola is an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, and Goombie's his conga player. He's been with him 35 years, and he's unbelievable. His hands, I wouldn't want the guy to flatten me because his hands are like a rock for playing that conga. I mean, he plays with him for fucking an hour and a half. Actually, Rick and I, thank you, Rick, for that night. It was a good time. We got tickets and we had good seats. We heard really, some good stuff. But people, I'm ready to just put it up and crank it up. How about you? You ready to listen to it?
And Max put a nice touch.
I'm going to crank it up, people. It'll just take me a second to get this rolling. I am fully prepared. You can't see me right now, but I assure you, you're going to hear some music now.
Man, thanks for having me today.
What the hell? Hold on, peeps. Something happened. Some kind of fuckery. Yeah, I played it before.
The gremlins are at work.
on here. I'm just trying to get this together here. And we definitely don't want that. Let's go with this. There we go. Now we can see each other. So, what do you think, folks? I have to say that to me is just it's a great rock and roll tune. You know. So tell me about the process of recording it. Where was you? I know you guys did this at a distance for the most part.
I produced the track here in Augusta, Georgia. We used
Mhm,
Turkey and Arnaud Krakawa. He's a very masterful drum programmer. So we used him,
mhm,
built off of that from the ground up. I got the bass player in town down around, Andrew Renner. He came on,
mhm.
and I'm telling you, from the first thump, Max has got that bass just,
Oh yeah,
you know,
it comes right in and it slams hard. Did you
uh,
play all the guitar on it?
wrote the song, play all the guitar, I do all the vocals, and again,
Hmm.
yeah, man, that one just, that song is, I'm telling you, Neil,
That's got a lot of punch. It's melodic. It's got everything that I like. I like melodic metal. I don't always like the savage or the thrash. I can appreciate it. I love a great thrash band, but I'm more. I like this is more like '70s rock and roll that like Uriah Heep was doing, and a lot of bands from England. Uh,
I agree with you,
Go
man,
ahead.
in a way that's a bit of a throwback. He,
Well,
and so he's taking it back. Max is 76 years old. He's been doing this for, a long, long time.
sure. Well, like everything, the trends come and go depending on what the marketing moguls say. They know for next year, like what they're going to put out in 26. They got some poor band they're beating the shit out of, and they're getting them groomed and ready, or the band's just got it together and they get signed to these deals. But it's not like in the old days. It takes so much sales to make any money. Everybody I know, they got a tour. You
Yeah,
don't tour, you don't have any money.
it's still out there. You just need hit
Oh
song.
yeah,
You got to have hit song. You got to be able to work the mechanical end of that once you have. Luckily,
and you have to get a band that's good enough to go out that they can play the material right. That's a big part of it. You got to have everybody right there, and hell, it's worth it though. To me, there is nothing like music. Any kind of concert you go to, I get friction, man. It gives me goosebumps sometimes when I hear stuff like Led Zeppelin. When I saw them, I never had that happen before, but hearing Jimmy Page, I was just like, and John Bonham. Oh my god, sitting there as a fucking 14-year-old freaking the hell out. It's only three guys with the music playing. I know Robert Plant's singing, but he's not a musician. He's a singer. Not that he's not a musician. I know he can play guitar and do all kinds of stuff.
traditionally doing that at the time. Look as a three-piece, me, a bass player, and a drummer. That's what they
Well, that's great.
power
You don't
trio
even have to hire a singer, which is great.
all in house with three men, and that's going to be a good thing. Keep the moving parts down. But
Oh yeah, it's just like look at ZZ Top, man. No, not a lot of moving pieces, but goddamn Billy Gibbons. In fact, our friend Memphis Gold, he has got Billy to be playing a little guitar on his new record. They're gonna make that happen. He
cool.
met him, and he's our friend in DC. He's an old blues man from Memphis. He kicks ass. You got to see him play guitar. I mean, you can see where the British guitar players got their sound from guys like him. He kicks ass, and he's a really good guy. He's a friend of mine, and I like him. I'm proud to call him a friend. He's invited me to his place. I've invited him here. I said, anytime you want to come up and go to the beach, come up and bring your wife and chill. A couple days.
You
Um,
still live next to Bruce Springsteen's manager?
I still do. Tinker.
Is he still doing
He's
well?
former manager. Let me clear that up. It's his former manager. It's the guy who got him back when he was starting a band. He gave him a rehearsal studio. He recorded them, went out and he had a sound company for a while. He knew his shit enough to know that he had something good. It wasn't like he managed bands and he managed a bunch of Bruce's bands, did a good job. Got the PA there on time, made sure it was set up, had a good qualified guy, him, to run it. And I got to tell you this about Tinker. and I'm not brown nosing here, and he knows it. I think he's one of the smartest people I've ever met mechanically, because he's a welder and he's put together the big structures in like huge theaters in New York, like Radio City, where it's all iron worker. He's a steel fabricator, and he's usually the guy who brainwashes it, does the drawings, but he's very particular. And he'll go out there, and he's like 80 something years old, and he's out there at the job going, "Don't fuck that up." And he's funny. What he did to me is in the Bruce Springsteen book. It was almost right out of it, because I came in, he was having a party, and he asked, I had volunteered to come down and give him a PA and go help him. And he turned me down on the PA, but he said, he knew me enough. Like my band played around. And so he said, I said, "What can I do to help you?" He goes, "You know how to operate a broom?" I said, "Hell yeah." So I got that broom, and I swept that fucking mangy ass garage like a motherfucker. I had that thing, you could eat off it when I got done, man. And I knew that he did that because I'd read it in the book about him. That's the first thing he said to Bruce Springsteen when he came in the shop. So I just said assholes to elbows, man. And ever since that, he kind of likes me now. We talk a lot. We yell up and down. He wants to do a blog. He like yesterday, I was by his shop. He's in there building some big fucking piece of steel with there's 4 or 5 guys or 2 or 3. They're all doing their thing. But Tinker's an interesting character. He wants to have a talk show where he talks about our great rights as human beings and as citizens of the United States. He's a big constitutional guy. He needs his like own show where he can just talk for an hour to the people in his audience, because he's really smart. And at first I thought he just might be some old burnout welder. I know a few of those, and they're great folks, but they do what they do. If I was an iron worker dancing around on skyscrapers in New York City, God knows I'd drink for less.
That's right.
I mean, that's a ballsy ass job, and you got to be strong, and you got to be smart, or you won't last long.
No,
You got a short life as an iron worker if you fuck up.
Yeah, got to be some discipline. He's a disciplined man.
Yes, he is, and he, like I said, he brought out his PA system, which was the old Altec voice of the theater. He had these old DC 600 or whatever the hell they were, and then he had originally had Macintosh amps. Fucking thing was so clean. When I played there, it sounded really good, because right behind us, up and aiming down at us, are 2 voice of the theaters, 215s, and it was a forward sloped scoop going into the speakers. So when you looked at them, it had a round curve that went back into the box, and direct reflex speaker, so it didn't have any holes except in the front. This thing was massive subwoofer, and it just sounded so great. I was playing the drums going, this is freaking great. And the truth is, guys, when I first walked in there and saw the rig, I was like, oh, fuck me. I like Tink, but this is a shitty rig, and we're going to sound bad. And I had to eat some crow. I didn't say that to anybody, thank God. I just thought it in my head, but
not tasty.
Happens. Mm-hmm. Safety first, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm sitting here, people. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm buttoning my shirt. There was a big hole in it, and now I'm getting to the last button.
About a loud shirt you're wearing there, brother.
Yeah, well, you should see the one with the cat with tacos on it. It's very similar.
At least we gave him some variety today, right?
Well, yeah. For anybody who saw the shirt with the tacos and the cats and got offended, I'm really sorry, but it was meant to be funny. And what it was is it had the head of a big orange cat wrapped up in a huge taco, and it had taco cats all over me. It was back when President Trump said, "They're eating cats." It was one of the funniest political moments in history I've ever seen. All of us in America kind of went, what the fuck? What the hell is he jabbering about eating cats? I don't know, man. It was an ugly story. That's all I can say.
I'll give a shout out to my Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Had to sneak it in.
Is your girl there with you?
No, she's working today, man. I'm here by myself.
No, too bad. Well, at least she's got a job.
Hey, man, y'all stay alert for this track and this EP coming. I Want to Touch You. You know what I mean? We do a
Well,
lot of rambling and a lot of talking, but really seriously, be alert for this. I'll have it out as soon as I can. Hopefully, in just a few more months. Just mixing and mastering. Maybe 2 more months, it'll be out.
and people buy product from local bands. I can't stress this enough. They're just great bands out there that need to make a living, and it's a hard living. Don't let anybody, if your kid says, I want to be a musician, you tell them, fine. When you get out of graduate school, you can do whatever music you want to do. In the meantime, get to the books and work hard. Or get a great job. Like, hey, be a tradesman. I know plenty of tradesmen make $200,000 a year, busting their ass, but they make money. And nowadays, they have all the new Mexican guys who are here who want to work. It's funny though. I don't know if you know it. It's $25 an hour is what those guys down at Lowe's charge on average now.
Mm.
So it's really not bad money. They stand there in the morning. I see them out there and see people picking them up, mow their lawns, and do all kinds of shit. But
Yeah.
that's pretty good money. And people say a lot of white guys won't work for that. I'd work for $25. In
Yeah.
my life, I've worked for less doing carpentry and shit, or painting.
$200
I've
for
made good. Go ahead.
$200 for an 8-hour day. That's $1,000 for 40 hours.
Exactly. And, all I can say is it's better than doing nothing. And they work hard. They are hardworking folks. And I don't think anybody, this is how I look at it. They should just, the ones who are here, have been here, who are legal and paying taxes, let them, you can't just throwing those people out. The people who just came running over the border, I don't know. I don't know what's to be done.
You
A
need,
lot of people.
you need to seal it off and sort it out.
Yep. At least they've stopped the flow. Now you got to figure it out. And I think if they're smart, first get rid of the real crazy criminals that they know are like murderers.
That's a given. Get rid of the bad element, but that's usually only about 5% of society.
Well, whatever the number is, I know this. The number I saw was there's approximately 70 to 100,000 convicted murderers who got put out of the prison and sent here from all the countries, like
Right.
Venezuela. Central America is full of like the craziest gangs. I believe it's one of the Central American countries, perhaps. Uh, it's a small country, but they have Guatemala. They have this crazy jail because they've got all the guys. I forget what the name of the group is, but they have tattoos all over their face and shit. And
MS-13.
this is the toughest jail, man, you can imagine.
They got that MS-13 down there.
Yeah. At any rate, they have when they go out and walk, they all have to be bent over and touching the shoulder of the guy in front. It's crazy stuff. But at any rate, we've gone from that. People, Dave. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play the cut again, the track.
Run it.
And I'm going to run it. And then after that, if it's cool, I'm going to play your whole album and let some people get introduced to you. Is that cool?
Real cool with that.
All right, folks, you're in for a treat. And Dave and I'll see you at the end of this tune. And then you're going to just get to hear it live. And I'll tell you, if you have good headphones, put them on. Because his records have a lot going on. And as an audio guy, I will tell you, listen to the bottom end on the record. Listen to the sub frequencies, just where they're at. They're very tight and accurate, and the bass sounds freaking great. The drums are good, and the vocals are good. This guy's great. Look him up.
That sneaky metal, man, where it's commercial, but when you start picking it apart, it's like what Neil just said.
Many layers, like an onion, man, and it's cool. It's well done, and I say that because I get lots of stuff. I listen to so much music, and I try to like it, but when it's not good and it's not recorded well, or if the lyrics are just terrible, full of false rhymes, I'm a picky guy, folks. So if you send stuff and you're great, man, we love you. And even if you're not that great, I'll never be mean to you. I might even put you on because everybody's got to grow. That's the thing about music. And I think there's enough assholes in the music business, especially on the business end of it. And I don't want to be one of them. So, if you want to come on the show, even if you got a brand new band, hell, remember the Talking Heads, or think about, I had the guy on the show who found Metallica, the guy with the record company up here in Jersey. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was a great guy and very well respected. He sold Metallica's deal and they parted. It was kind of a hard thing for them. They'd been together the whole time. and he got them a truck and brought him to New Jersey and started recording him. The story's really great. Are you aware of that tale of how Metallica came to be?
Oh yeah, man. I knew that guy before he died. I was Facebook friends with him, and he had heard my music and liked it.
My other buddy here in town worked on that last album he did. They both apparently, I can't think of his name. I feel really terrible because he was great. He had something records, and they were up in Rutgers area where the
Oh,
college is.
sorry, I can help you out with that. His name was
Metal Blade.
John Zazula,
John Zazula. Thank you so much. People,
and
look
his
up
label
John
called,
Zazula.
yes, sir, and his label was called Megaforce Records.
That's it, Megaforce.
Yeah,
He found that label, and nobody else was buying Metallica, and he did, and he believed in him, and that's what's got to happen sometimes,
he,
folks. If you're just a songwriter on your own,
he sold them to Epic Records. The A&R
right?
executive was a young, hungry A&R executive named Anthony Michael Alago, and
All right.
he steered Metallica's career to great success. Alago is
Mm-hmm.
famous for not signing Slayer, and they give him hell to this very day that, you should have signed us and all that.
Yeah, it's funny because Slayer is another band that my friend in Florida, Scott Burns, he recorded a bunch of their early shit, and
Yeah.
for all I know, he's still doing stuff with them. He was just when my band recorded an album, we went to the studio where he was at 'cause it was the best studio in Tampa at the time, Mars Sound Recording. And we recorded in the A room, the big fucking SSL, and had a great time. And I could just see in Slot, he got to be like such a huge part of that black metal scene. And he had great ears, not like myself. I've killed mine. All right, people. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this song, and we're going to go ahead and step out of here. Dave and I are going to go back to what we were doing before the show. And I hope everybody has a super ass killer weekend. Listen to some music, play it loud, make your neighbors upset if you can. Sometimes you just got to have a little fun. Play some polka music real loud or something. Any rate, here we go with some Dave Look, and we'll see you next time. Got anything to add?
I'll put a link to my YouTube channel in the comments, man. You guys go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, man.
We could always use those.
All right. I'll tell you what, I'll be getting a link for your page, and I'm going to put it up on my... I'm just going to run an ad for you, man, for the song when you're ready, like next week.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll just get a little snippet if you're cool with that.
That's very cool.
You're going to be the first person on my new Live with Neve, what we're doing, which is I'm going to get everybody who comes on, I'm going to get them to give me their music, and I'm going to start a 24-hour music show. It's going to run every fucking day, people. It'll be very different than the Live with Neve show on Friday where I have guests. But if it takes off, I think it'll add a lot to my program because people get bored if you only do a show one day a week. If I could do one every day of the week, I would, but believe it or not, it's harder than it looks. And there's a lot of background work to do a good show, especially if I'm alone sometimes. Bill's here. All right, man. My friend Bill Puig of Legion of Prague. You've met him on the show before, haven't you?
I believe I have.
Yeah, I thought so too. He typically I invite him in, and folks, we have Dave Looks. This is it. In fact, I'm going to take a picture of this so that I have it, and I'm going to put an ad together for you.
Are you still
I'll call you for some footage.
Are you still slinging that guy's hats?
Yeah, I am still slinging them hats.
Well, let's get a plug for the hats.
People, if you need a cowboy hat, if you want to feel like John Wayne, and you want to just be the baddest bitch in your town, you got to get yourself a Gone Country hat. Don't get any of that cheap kitty shit. I said Gone Country hats.
Gone Country hats.
Gone Country.
Yeah.
Even if you're not country, when you wear that hat, you turn into John Wayne. Just add some whiskey to you, and we'll let you go off. We'll bring you to Nashville. You won't make 2 blocks before you get your ass whipped. Oh man, It's great having you on. I can't wait till we can hang. I've been still trying to find property in Florida I can afford, and the market's dropping in price, so hopefully we'll be down there soon. I love New York. If I had the money, I'd keep this place and buy a place there.
Well,
But
Mac,
if I had that kind of money, I'd have a place in LA too, because there's so much music going on that Gina is so kind to send me video footage and let me use her video footage. In fact, I have a bunch of people who are in a small group. They go out all the time and supply me with footage the night it's on. Like, we had Billy Gibbons, his birthday party. So people were expanding the show, and Dave is the first artist I'm going to play on this show that's going to run 24 hours. And that's good because you're one of my favorite guests. I like your music, and I think you're great. People, here it is. We're going to roll this, and then we're going to play the whole live and born and raised in Hollywood. I'm so sorry. I'll get it right. Take care, peeps. We're going up to the mothership, and so are you. All right, and now we're going back. I gotta just get down here and crank this up. Folks, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. All right, how's that, peeps? All right, it's Fabulous Friday. We're out of here with Dave Look, Raised on Hollywood. Coming up right after this. I don't know what's going on. We're having a problem here, but I'll see you next week. I'm going to have the music for Dave Look back up shortly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!